Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Unbettable. And on today's episode, we have college basketball overview. We're going to talk a little bit about March Madness, some dark horse teams to watch. We are going to get deep into college baseball because that is back now. And Holmes will give us a couple weekend plays that hopefully you guys tail and make some money on in this college baseball kickoff. Boys, how we doing? It's been a couple days. Last week when we were in between recordings, Luca got traded. I don't think that really happened, and everything was kind of normal this time. So, how have your last 2 days been?
Very uneventful. I mean, just like you said, man, we have not had much going on. I'm pretty sure the NBA is about to go on their All-Star break. The NHL has already taken their break for their little Four Nations face-off. USA plays Finland tonight. But really, other than that, man, college sports, we're getting geared up. That's it. It's
Yeah,
great time of
it's
year.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like 2 weeks away from conference championship starting and like conference playoffs starting. Uh, that's fucking awesome. I will
Yeah.
say though, I don't know if you guys saw this clip. It was about Carl Ravitch saying, "How can the SEC be good? They're 82 and 82 in conference play." That was kind of interesting. Any takeaways from that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
That was by far the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Gary, to kind of break it down for you, when teams play in conference play, every conference is going to be 500 because when teams play in conference, say Florida plays Georgia, if Florida
Bro,
wins and
oh
Georgia
my
loses,
God.
the winner and there's a loser.
I didn't even
So
have to know the context to say he's an idiot.
exactly, every conference is 500 every
I,
year, no matter what. It doesn't happen like
I
that.
didn't think
Obviously,
about it
records
that
are
way.
different with non-conference schedules, but with in-conference, there's just a very, very poor comment by Carl Ravitch.
You know,
Yeah, I've never seen a man get flamed on Twitter quite like that, but he was dead fucking serious about it too.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's like when you ain't got shit to say, don't say it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that was that's so dumb. Like it makes no sense, bro. But like speaking of SEC, this is like kind of off topic, but I was watching the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday for like the first time, and the characters he has that call him consistently are interesting to say the
Oops.
least. It's some interesting SEC folk on that show, if anybody wants
Oh yeah.
entertainment. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, no, I remember after school, I would turn on the radio and it would be kind of a break between the Dan Levitard show and then the Paul Feinbaum show would come on. And so you get that chaos of Dan Levitard and you get some guy from fucking Arkansas. What do you guys think about the Tide this year? You think they're gonna be good at all? you're
It was
just sitting
literally
there,
like that kind of
you're trying to
conversation.
decompress. You're just like, what the hell is going on here?
They go
It
off the
was
rails a lot.
it
A
was funny.
lot.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna start opening phone lines soon. I think that has to be done. We'll
That would be
tweet out
some.
Gary's phone number. We'll tell you when we're recording, and we'll toss you in the recording.
Yeah, I'm sure that
I
would be
think we got to
great.
introduce it.
Yeah, I'm so good
um.
off that.
Well, yeah. So based off the Carl Ravitch stuff, today's obviously going to be college oriented. Um. Let's kind of go around just a little where we're at right now, kind of pull for college basketball. Give me who you think's going to win it and who your dark horse team is to win March Madness. So, Holmes, let's kick it off with you.
Well, it is hard, I will say, because in my mind, I feel like there are about four or five teams that have a legitimate shot at winning this championship, bar none. And the teams for me, I really like it's Auburn, it's Duke, Florida, obviously. I love Houston, and then this is gonna sound so weird to say, but I really do think St. John's has it in them to go all the way and win it.
Wow.
And I'll have St. John's as the dark horse candidate because looking at Ken Palm, they're 16th rated right now. They are the best team in the Big East Conference right now, but their strength of schedule has not really been that good. I think it's rated, what do we have here? 58th in net rating strength of schedule. Now compare that to some of the top teams that we have up at the top. Alabama's strength of schedule is 2. Auburn's is number 1. Florida's 34th. Tennessee's is 14. Iowa State 36. Purdue 5. Obviously, all these teams have been playing a lot better competition than just St. John's, but I will say there's a lot worse teams in the Big East than there is in the SEC, which is the majority of those teams that I named. If I'm going to
Mhm.
have to go with anybody to win, I want to say the Florida Gators so bad. I want to say the
I
Florida
know, I
Gators.
know.
I
All right,
want
let's
to.
get this out of the way now because we are all kind of in this scenario. Yes, we all want the Florida Gators to win. That
Yeah,
is our pick by far, but
yeah,
we are right now trying to be unbiased with our picks. But yes, the graphic will show the Gator bias bar of us
yeah,
wanting to win the whole thing.
yeah,
Let's just get it out of the way so that we can just move on by it.
for real. All right, so we got that out of the way. I am going to go with Houston. And honestly, it's kind of the same reasoning in me picking St. John's as my dark horse. Both of these teams' defensive ratings are ridiculous. If you have watched any Houston games this year, if you've watched any St. John's games this year, their defensive abilities are second to none. They have grown men running a great defensive scheme out there for not only Houston, but for St. John's too. And I think not only is that going to contribute to an amazing run in March Madness, you're going to need really great defense to play in the tournament. But Houston is able to score a lot as well. They're the sixth rated offensive team in the nation, third ranked overall in KenPom. I really like the combination that they have of offensive, defensive size, ability to score, ability to lock down opponents. I'm big on Houston this year, so that's going to be my pick.
Love it. And then St. John's is your sleeper.
Yes, sir.
Gary Gowdy, the man kicking in the chair over there. Um, who are your two picks?
My two picks, the
Your
Gators and the
sleeper
Gators.
and yeah,
I'm just
okay.
kidding. But no, like what I will say though about Gators basketball, we have our sources that still attend the university. Apparently, Mr. Condon was spotted today in a boot on the
Mhm.
golf cart, so that's kind of an L.
Not great.
Yeah. But anyways, give me the Gators though. I'm gonna be that guy because Mondo told me that guy, or I'm that guy in the group chat, so I'm gonna be that guy and I'm gonna say the Gators are gonna win it all. In my dark horse, I was actually just looking at the standings over here. I feel like I saw this on Twitter today, but the SEC is going ape shit right now in basketball. Like we own everyone. I just want that to be
Hmm.
known, even though we love Florida, like SEC owns you, your mama and your granny. But my dark horse, Tennessee.
Hmm.
Okay. I like that. I like that. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about when Gary says he's being that guy, look up Stephen A's cousin
Nephew.
doing or his nephew doing the weather on the
That was
Stephen A.
good.
Smith show.
That was
That
good.
is what Gary brings to the table, and we love him to death because of it.
Drake
And
Carter.
I think Holmes can kind of agree with that as well. Chaotic entertainment is what I
Mhm.
called it in the chat. But for me, yeah, obviously, no shit. We want the Gators. That's a no fucking brainer. Um, I do think that Bama being the one seed, yeah, whatever. I think they're a solid pick to win the tournament. It's just tough to bet on them, but they're right now my number one pick if I'm not doing the Gators. But my sleeper is not as well known, not as hyped up, and that's Memphis. They're
Nice.
20-4. Penny
Yeah.
Hardaway is dominating as a coach, changing the culture. They have one of the best two-way players in the league in a point guard named PJ Haggerty. He averages 21 points per game, 3.7 assists per game, and 2.1 steals per game. The guy is all over the court, and I'm absolutely obsessed with watching the way Memphis plays basketball. They are so fluid, so quick. I really think that they're going to give some of these big SEC hyper focused offense teams they're going to struggle a little bit when it comes playoff time because you're going game after game after game. Memphis is going to be built for that. They're conditioned for that. So that's where I'm looking at as a sleeper. Um,
That's a good
so
pick.
yeah, I mean I put in a lot of research for that pick. I've watched a lot of Memphis games this year for no specific reason, just watching the games. But I'm absolutely loving this PJ kid. He's fucking disgusting.
I don't
But
know. I like how some of these older athletes are using their platforms in a way to like boost like the reputation of some of these schools. Like, we were just talking
mhm.
about Memphis, and then you look at Colorado. I don't really know if Coach Prime has, done the bestest things, I guess, but he's definitely put them on the map. So like I think it's pretty cool to kind of watch as they get older.
Yeah, I mean, with the prime thing, it's about exposure, and I think he's done well with that.
Yeah,
But he's also pushing his stars into the light, which is like
exactly. Yeah,
he's
that's what I
basically
was saying.
forcing both of them into a top three pick. And like that's, I mean, no one really has influence in coaching like Dion does with that. But it's, I mean, yeah, Penny's a close one for doing that. I mean, PJ, under what Penny's been able to teach him just in the 1 year, it's been unbelievable to watch. I mean, he looks like he recreated himself on the court.
Nice.
But yeah, as you can tell, that's not what we want to talk about today. That'll come in a couple weeks. I got a text at work today that I could have sworn something was wrong. It came in all caps. Um, and when I realized it was from the group chat full of these jabronis over here, I noticed that the baseball lines were out this weekend, which means what, Holmes? What does that mean for us?
God, it means college baseball is back, bro. And we're gonna
We
start late.
are back. College baseball has returned. Games kick off tomorrow. And we're going to start with Mr. Gary Gowdy III. Gary, kind of similar to the March Madness thing. Give me your brief little 500-foot overview of college baseball this season. And I know it's coming, so I'll just ask for it. And your analysis of the Gator team heading into the year.
Oh, yeah. I have so much of nothing to say for this one. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Today was a shitstorm of a day. I had to go to the
Mm.
dentist and get stabbed, and then I had my power go out twice while I was trying to work today for like 30 minutes each time. So I haven't had any time to do much of anything today. But from what I will say about the upcoming college baseball season, I do plan on going to a couple Gator games. Um, I feel like that is like this is, bro, I was actually talking about this with my parents. Like that's the one thing I miss about really going to Florida is like the baseball games, bro. Like you would just be
Yeah, I agree.
chilling in the dorm and be like got shit else to do and like, oh, the Gators play tonight. And just pull up,
Right, right
sit
out.
out on the lawn. Shout out Harry Van. First time I drank a lawn beer with somebody was Harry Van. But yeah, Gators are going all the way. That's what I have to say about it.
Incredible.
Oh my God. I mean, that's generational input right there. Get all your college baseball knowledge from this man right here. He knows everything.
If you want the vibe perspective of it, I got you. I can tell you all about the vibes of the fucking berm. It's good vibes. I used to work for the stadium too. I was an usher.
Yeah, no, you were, Lip was. There was a whole Usher crew that would just get me in the games for free. It was a good time. It was
Never
a
once
really
got
good
paid
time.
by the university for it either.
Oh, you want to air that out? We could start a lawsuit live on the pod.
They
Jeez.
never showed me how to work the pay clock. I
Look at
never knew
that.
how to do it.
You,
So
come on, bro.
I was just out
That's on
there,
you. That's not on the university.
just out there doing volunteer work.
That's your fault. That's crazy, Garrett. Nah. Okay.
They didn't even train
I'll
me.
keep. I mean, what's to train? You're showing
My
people where
job,
their
I didn't even know
seats
what I was
are.
doing the first day. I pull up and they're like, go stand there. And then they're like telling me to search people's bags. I don't know how to do that. This one fucker brought binoculars full of liquor, which was crazy one time.
Did you let him in?
No.
Should have.
And then there was a diabetic kid that had juice boxes, but I didn't know he had diabetes. And I told the dad that he wasn't allowed to bring that in. He's like, we always come here. He has diabetes. I was like, oh, true. And I just let him
Did
slide.
you let him in?
Yeah, because there was no food or outside drink. Let Holmes
Okay.
talk, bro. We're going down a rabbit hole.
All right. I'll give mine real quick and then we'll turn it over to the man of the hour.
Uh,
The only thing you really need to know about the college baseball season this year is the winner is coming out of the SEC. That is a fact.
That's a good
Now,
point.
there's a couple teams that it could be about: Texas A&M, Florida, LSU, Tennessee. The answer is not Tennessee. Tennessee will not win this year. Texas A&M, I think, might be my pick unbiasedly. New coach doesn't matter. Jason Gavin are about to be demons in the field this season. And then you have Prager on the mound. He's arguably the best pitcher in the nation. Texas A&M would be my pick. You could say LSU. They got 9 of the top 100 transfers this offseason. They have a good squad. And obviously, from a biased perspective, we want the Gators to win. That's a no brainer. I'm a little worried about the Gators, and I'll kind of let Holmes more talk about it or at least address it. The Gators lose their two-way superstar player, Jack Caglione, to the draft. Then you have to try and fill multiple roster spots because of that. And so your offense is just slightly weaker. We have a really good offense. That's not really a surprise to many people. My issue is the pitching, where we are probably going to have a 6 ERA pitching staff again this year. And that is going to crucify me as a baseball fan. Because Holmes, you and I specifically have sat here game after game every single year, just shitting ourselves while we're watching it because we know the Gators are going to blow the lead,
Yeah.
and it's driven us crazy. We used to do it at the dugout. We used to do it at the house. We used to do it on the pod. I mean, that's where I kind of draw the line with the Gators. If they figure out how to pitch, they have a real shot to win it all. I just don't think they're going to put it together. So I'll turn it over to you, our college baseball expert, Austin Hart. Take it away.
Oh man, I am just so excited for the season to start. It's finally here tomorrow. And before we go into any of the weekend picks or anything, I will
Okay.
touch a little bit on the Florida Gators. It's not a team that we got to preview at all when I went into my college baseball preview, and that's on me just because I forgot. My bad. I will say, along with your feelings toward the pitching this year, Mondo, I do share some of that sentiment. It's going to look a lot different this year. I know our starting rotation for the weekend is going to be Liam Peterson on Fridays, Jake Clemente on Saturdays, and Pierce Coppola on Sundays. Now, this looks really, really good on paper because Liam Peterson has all the stuff that he needs to be an elite pitcher, but his command last year was extremely poor. As just a
Mm-hmm.
freshman, I can understand the growing pains that it's going to take, obviously, to come into the college level, but he is going to have to be a lot sharper this year, especially as the Friday night guy. A lot of guys are, I'm sure, going to be looking to him for some leadership. The Saturday guy, Jake Clemente, he had an amazing summer in the Cape Cod League. I'm pretty sure he was an all-star. He was one of the best pitchers out there
He
over
was
the summer.
filthy.
Is it going to translate this year? I don't know. He has not been a starter for us yet so far. He had Tommy John his freshman year. So this is going to be his biggest role on the team thus far. And then Pierce Coppola, this is a guy that we've talked about a lot, especially last year when he was able to finally come back from injury after what 2.5 years he was sidelined, not being able to pitch regularly. The biggest thing for this guy is to just stay healthy. He has all the talent in the world, all the size in the world, like what, 7 foot. The dude just needs to be able to stay on the mound. So a lot of question marks going into the pitching staff here, especially with Brandon Neely also departing from the bullpen. That guy was nails for us
Mm-hmm.
as our closer. I don't know what we're going to have to do with our bullpen situation. I don't know if Luke McNeely, who started to show a lot of good things toward the end of last season, is going to slot into that role. They might have to depend on a lot of younger freshman arms. But I do think one guy that they are going to depend on a lot is Billy Barlow, a pitching transfer from Clemson. He has had a lot of innings under his belt over at Clemson, is very good at commanding the zone. I think he's going to be a very, very good midweek pitcher for us, if not a very, very strong piece in the bullpen, maybe pitching 3, 4 innings at a time, being a really good bulk guy that we can depend on. As far as the lineup goes, we do bring back some key pieces from last year. Colby Shelton, Cade Kurland, Luke Heyman, who else? Brody Donay, Ty Evans is going to be returning from injury. But like you said, losing Jack Caglianone, that is a massive loss. I mean, he was the catalyst in our lineup for 3 years. So being able to replace him is going to be very, very difficult. I'm not sure what the battle for first base is really going to look like. I've heard there's a freshman. I want to make sure I get his name, Brendan Lawson, coming in. Pretty sure he could have gotten drafted and forewent the draft to come to college and play. I've heard he has a ton of pop in his bat, and they're going to really want to insert him into the lineup. But then a couple other transfers as well, one from Texas Tech, one from Jacksonville, one from Stetson. All these guys are going to be looking to fight for some spots in the infield, outfield, kind of looking to where they can get their place. One of the biggest transfers, I will say, Kyle Jones from Stetson. He is going to slot right into the center field slot after Michael Robertson departed for Liberty. He is going to be, I think, a great addition to the team. He has a ton of speed out there in center field, and I think he has a much, much better contact rate than Michael Robertson did. A little bit of pop in that bat as well. He should be a great center fielder for us. So that's a little bit on the Gators preview for this season. Obviously, we will talk so much more about this team all throughout the season. This is going to be our team. We're going to be following all throughout the season. But there is no line out for the Gators because we're playing goddamn Air Force this weekend. If we do not sweep this weekend coming out to start the season, we're going to have a whole lot to talk about on Monday's pod. Now, let's go right into the plays. I've already put in 3 futures for College World Series winners. They have these futures out here live on Hard Rock Bet now. I put in Texas A&M at plus 850, obviously as the favorite so far this year. Like they are returning an immense amount of talent. Even with the first year coach, I think that talent is going to be able to overcome whatever coaching struggles that they might run into with their first year. Virginia at plus 1,000. We talked about them a little bit in the preview. They are as consistent as they come. Returned a ton of talent as well at plus 1,000. I think this is a very, very good value because I think they're going to be in Omaha no matter what. And then obviously the Florida Gators at plus 1,750. Have to throw a little sprinkle on the boys. I think they can absolutely create the magic that they did from last year and be able to take it all the way. As far as the weekend plays that we go, we have 6 plays for you. And we're going to be able to put these up on the Twitter, Instagram. I have these all ready for you for all these games starting Friday night. So the 2 straight plays that we're going to take, Stetson money line at plus 130. This team is going to be a really, really, really good mid-major team this year. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on them. They're probably going to be the best mid-major team in the state of Florida. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a tough matchup at the outset for Stetson. They're playing UConn, another really, really great mid-major team, but with Stetson being at home, I love the plus money value here. Also going to take Arizona on the money line at minus 110 against Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to be one of the weaker teams here in the SEC. I think this is a good chance for Arizona to start off the season right. And then, one more straight play, an over. We don't take overs a whole lot because Hard Rock doesn't put them out a whole lot, but Oklahoma State and Clemson, this is one of the lowest totals on the board at 10.5. And really, I don't understand it. I think both of these teams are going to be able to mash this year. We saw Oklahoma State against Florida in the Stillwater Regional last year. They have a lot of pop in those bats. And obviously, we saw Clemson in the Super Regional. They have the same thing. I think both of these teams can bang the ball out of the yard. So we're going to go over 10.5, minus 110 there. As far as the parlays, a couple of 2-leggers, Texas and UNC, put those together for plus 117. Arizona State and TCU, put those together for plus 149. And then 3-teamer, Duke, Oregon State, and Florida State at plus 111. All of these are pretty heavy favorites, but FSU is definitely one that we wanted to get slotted in there because of Jamie Arnold pitching on Friday nights. This guy is going to be one of the best pitchers in the ACC this year. That's what we got, man. 6 plays, 3 straight, 3 parlays. We're going to put them out on the Instagram, on the Twitter, and make sure you're following on the Twitter because plays will be dropping for Saturday games, Sunday games. We're going to make sure it's live on there. Going to get them all out to you guys.
That's it. That's all we got.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy, please make sure to like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. We will see you on the next episode. Peace.